So welcome to class number 12, diving into the fire element, the emperor, the heart. And we're going to review a number of things, but my goal is to be done in about an hour so that we have time to talk about our next steps moving into summer and so forth. So welcome. We are going to have a blast today. I'm going to get the slideshow up. And share screen. Cool. Actually, no, before we do that, while we can see each other, let's just drop into a pillar together. Yeah, let's connect first before we get the screen on. So your feet on the ground, your crown extend upward, chin gently tuck, shoulders relax down and back. The belly soften, feel your root. We'll start with 3 highs, breathing in. In. Smiling down. One more. Relaxing the heart, the mind, on the sun, nothing else. Back, center, to a shoe. Three is tree. 4 is core. 5 is alive. Opening our heart. 6 is sick. 7 is heaven. 8 is gate. 9 is shine. Breathing in with an inner smile, 10 is the in. Calling in our higher self, cleansing our body, becoming a vessel, forgiving for awareness. Breathing in with a big inner smile, connecting to the divine, feeling every cell, every pore, feeling our chakras, tightly pulled with light, and creating a sanctuary to practice, to learn, to grow together. Finding the guardians and lighting the directions. And third invocation, overflowing our whole being with unconditional love, nourishment, the energy of the cosmos. Giving our collective pillar our wings, fill us in our temple space, fill Mount Shasta. And today there's another mountain to tune into, and it's Mount Kailash. And it's in the Himalayas in Tibet. So feel us standing with Mount Shasta. It's like a beacon. And we're connecting to the sacred mountains in Tibet, the other sacred mountains. Feeling this synergy, this union, the support of all the enlightened beings, healers and teachers encircling us. And bring your hands to your belly, or your heart, eyes. So grateful to be with each of you today. Thank you for your presence. Sharing screen now. All right. So this is actually class number 12, Fire Element. So today's objective, invitation to deeper sacred space. What are closing, opening, and nourishing the heart? What ways, not only for ourselves, but for our people, our students. Right? And then covering just a little bit more about the Tumo Inner Fire practice and training that we are all very well established at now, and just want to give you a couple more layers of that. And then some practical techniques to transform anxiety and using purpose and play to do that. So this is one of my favorite poetry books of all time. Super small, and it's called The Subject Tonight is Love by Hafiz. So one of the ways that opens my heart is poetry, and it's something that in all of the esoteric arts there is always a place for poetry and the words and the wordsmithing and the creating to our words. So during summer break, this is what I'm going to do, because I've been reading medical qigong books up to my ears, which I love, and I'm going to read some poetry. I'm going to read some story and some myth, and just like whoosh, just let all of the having to remember stuff just let all that go. So I invite you during the summer, read something that really lifts up your heart. What kind of things you want to get into? So that's the invitation to poetry. Now, I don't have it on hand. I actually was reading, Lindsay's mom was here, and one of my favorite things to do is read poetry to my beloved. And for whatever reason, when we were together, I decided to read poetry to Lindsay and her mom, and it was hilarious. There's some hilarious poetry from Hafiz and Rumi, which is why I love them as well. So that's my invitation to y'all. Then the next piece of the puzzle. So we've been doing this already, right? We've been doing the soul song stuff. I'm just going to move this very quickly so I can see better. Okay, now play it. So I found this picture just for you, Greg, by the way. Picture to the left. So one of my favorite books that, this one, I'm sure I've shown it to you all before, The Over Self Awakening, Schoolhouse for the Soul. So there's 72 transmissions. And as I go, I've been diving into it more and more over the last maybe 6-7 years. And it becomes, there's times where I'm in it, like singing and chanting and doing meditations and invocations with it. And there's times where it's like it's dormant. It's like I don't touch it for a long period of time. So today I felt called to dive into it again. And so if you look in the bottom left, you'll see there's like a little human right at the very bottom. You can see it's like all 7 chakras are starting to open up, and their hands are out kind of wide. It's kind of small and tiny, so I apologize. So in that bottom left-hand corner, then you see there's like, there's Hebrew, there's Egyptian, Sanskrit, Tibetan, and Egyptian. So all of the 5 languages of light are creating this like sphere around the human body. And that sound vibration not only represents opening all of the chakras and aligning, but also the calling in of the protectors, the guardians, the celestials, higher self. And so you can see how there's numerous bodies, right? There's a blue body, there's another body that's with wings, and there's just these multiple levels of energy. So I wanted to just allow you to get a better visual perspective of the practices that we're doing and some of what was occurring in Mount Shasta. Right? You can also see to the left and to the right, there's like almost like a little silhouette of Kuan Yin and the Buddha. I'm just going to pull up the chat. I see a couple people. Okay, great. Maybe here, what I'll do is make it bigger. Are you not seeing it, Catherine? That's strange. What about everybody else? Can y'all see that you can? Okay, thumbs up.
Yeah, also just a note to everyone, this has happened like a couple times. When David's presenting, if you have something for him, he usually like can't see the chat as well, and he usually can't see all our faces because he's in like full screen share. So my encouragement is like, just go off mute and say something.
Boom, yes, thank you. Thank you, Vista. That's a new protocol. Let's put that in the protocol. If something's going on, just unmute and let me know what's going on. So with that being said, these, and some of you already have a specific song that you use, but during this course of coming days and months, what is your soul song? What songs bring you joy, bring you strength, love, power? What songs bring you to tears? So devotional chanting, devotional singing, like that yearning, that awakening. And as we begin to sing, we fine tune the heart, which is the musical instrument of our soul. And it dissolves confusion, it dissolves negative emotion. And there are many teachers that speak of the first way to access our higher self is through gratitude. Once we start to tune into gratitude, higher self is accessible. Now, what prevents that is somebody holding resentment for themselves or judgment toward themselves or others. So gratitude and forgiveness are also interwoven in a very powerful way. And so when we went to our soul retrieval stuff, we didn't speak too much about gratitude, but we opened that door for forgiveness that then allows, wow, like I'm grateful for the experience, for the lesson, for the learning of my soul. Now I'm whole again. So on the other side of forgiveness, there's always a sense of like, thank you. I wouldn't have had it any other way, no matter how painful it was. Then our soul song is a way that, on one of these images, so there's 72 of these amazing, like transformative visuals that you're looking at, 72 of them. And in initiation number 2, it shows these musical notes. Oh, I love Catherine that you have the book. He fucking make my day right now. So when you go, it's in both initiation 2 and 3, it'll show like musical notes or Hebrew language, and it'll show this cloud covering above the head. And so when we sing our soul songs, it clears the clouds. Clears the clouds. And I want to show you this because it feels important. So on my altar, I've been meditating with this. So I look at this every day now. I do my meditation, my breath work. And so if our little old self right here on earth, right, and then this is just part of what it is, just the clouds, in the about 10,000 feet up or whatever. And then what's above, just clarity. Right, so when we go to the top of these mountains, no matter where they're at, Mount Rainier, Mount Shasta, we've got, what's that one here, Larissa? Tamalpais, right? We go to these higher mountains and it's like, wow, direct access. So when we sing our soul song, it clears through that cloud, that matrix of society, the collective soup, the Wei Chi field of collective society. It's like pierced through that, all that gunk. There's some good stuff, but we just clear it out, and now we're at one. Once again, we're with higher consciousness, we're direct linkage to God, Goddess, our high self, and so forth. And then whether you do it in the beginning or the end, is the dedication of our merit, what they say in some of the Buddhist traditions. The dedication to our loved ones, to our ancestors, dedication to the teachers that have come before us, right? So these are this is the kind of the 3-step way that I like to use my soul songs. And there's, I've listed below a few of the languages of light, and there's more than 5, right? But here beneath, I just put a few that I really appreciate. As y'all know, the Kadosh salutation, the Tibetan is Om Mani Padme Hum, and then one of my favorite Hawaiian ones is called Ho'oponopono. Some of you may be familiar with Ho'oponopono. And it means, I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me, thank you. So within that is love and gratitude. Within that is forgiveness. Within that is an ability to ask for forgiveness and give forgiveness at the same time. Okay. So that is the soul song. So what we're going to do now is just relax. We'll center together. And feel your pillar of light, your belly, your heart, your mind. Feel the earth, feel all of the elements. And I'm going to today, since the theme is the heart, the mantra of compassion. So listen with your whole being, your 3 energy fields, and also listen with your 3 dantian. Om Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Hum Om Mani Padme Hum Om Mani Padme Hum Om Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Hum Om Mani Padme Hum Om Mani Padme Hum Om Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Hum Om Mani Padme Hum Om Mani Padme Hum Om Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Hum Om Mani Padme Hum. Yeah, 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 Rest in the stillness, feel. The belly, the heart, and a smile down to the heart. Good. Come back together. We'll share briefly just what you observed from the sound. You can just kind of popcorn it, and we'll move on to the next piece here.
Om Padme has the biggest resonance for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
Ho'oponopono is very powerful, but yeah, definitely resonate with Padme Om.
Mm-hmm. Awesome, brother. You look good, by the way, man. You look completely different. Who else would like to share? But if you don't have something to share, that's fine too.
This is Thomas. Hey, speaking of resonate, I could feel the way that the different tones moved through my body like waves of energy, like a spotlight that was like shining on different parts of my body in the vibration of the sound.
Excellent, brother. Beautiful awareness. Thank you for sharing. What are you, Greg? What'd you notice?
I mean, I don't know. I like to hear your voice. I kind of also have my ear to the other room. Finnegan is in there.
Got it.
I don't have a babysitter tonight, so I'm not like fully. I wasn't able to like fully. I'm listening to him do his
I hear you. Doing daddy's job right. Yeah. Good to hear your voice, brother. Anyone else care to share? We're still or Catherine? If not, well, head like this is like the official boundary of I don't want to share. Okay, great.
I can say the low tones.
I am. Are you sharing screen? I have no idea what's going on. If you're sharing, I might need to like leave and come back or something. Have you been sharing a screen?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't see that at all. But everybody else sees.
Yeah.
I see you and everybody else, but I don't see any kind of screen sharing.
Well, I just stopped the screen share now, but so you haven't been seeing it.
No.
Okay.
Okay, so I might log back out and like.
Yeah, log out and pop back in.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yep. Okay, let's see. You're on.
The low tones felt like I felt them rolling down my back body and like settling in my lower dantian and also just my root, and it felt it was like thick. It felt like honey, you know. It was like thick, and then as it got lower, it like almost turned to the feeling of like really rich soil.
Thank you for that. Share that. I appreciate your energetic languaging, like the descriptors that you use. So as we continue to explore Qigong, let's use language in that way, right? And Larissa's using texture, right? And kind of now like honey, like that really starts to bring. So when you're doing your practice and when you're teaching, you know, help invite the person, like, can you describe it a little bit more? You know, what does it feel like? What does it, put a texture to it or a color or whatever. So to reiterate that, thank you, Larissa.
Also, this is like a non sequitur, but I see a chat from Adrian, but I don't see him in the party hang time. So I'm confused, and I would love to.
Yeah, Adrian and JJ, yahoo!
Oh yay! Yay! Yeah! Yeah!
So that, so if y'all pop in late and you're wondering why, like, I'm not attuning to you, because I have the screen up and the chat's closed. So if you're like, hey, I'm not in, like, just just pop on, unmute yourself, and you can let me know you're here. Adrian, JJ, good to see y'all. Thank you, Larissa, for having my back there. Okay, cool. So we just finished our little soul song stuff, and we're going to move along to the next piece of the puzzle. I'm going to share my screen again. And I see, Adrian, you did say, I love chanting Om Mani Padme Hum in tube and throat singing. That sounds amazing. I want to know more about that. We can share with us a little bit later. Okay, here we go. Play. Sorry, I'm just going to move that. Okay. Can you guys see that or no? No, you can't. Not yet. I gotta share it. Here we go. My apologies. There it is. Share screen. Now we're golden. But now your beautiful faces are in my way and I can't read what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. All right, so powerful ways to heal the heart. We've talked about this: forgiveness, gratitude, love, compassion, grief, and praise. Grief can also be a block feeling gratitude and love. If we have stored up grief, right, not allowing that energy to move, to cry, then it can cause a blockage in the heart. So this is what I've observed, and I'm sure there's other ways to open the heart and heal the heart, but these are four of the primary. Now, 4 powerful ways to access the heart, and these are a little more functional, right? One is movement, so opening the spine, that's why before we did the soul retrieval, we did a full hour set of Qigong, right? We primed the system through sound, chanting, through the Tai Chi pole. We did breath work, did our whole Qigong set. And the other one is visual art, right? When we see artwork or movies, there's ways that can begin to open and access the heart as well. So this now, we're going to go into kind of a fun, just harvesting what closes the heart. Right? If we're all Qigong practitioners here, and we begin to look at patterns in our life and patterns in clients' lives, what closes the heart? And so this is just a short list, and I invite you all to begin to share with me. But fear is one, right? Anger, shock, trauma, abandonment, abuse, neglect, resentment close the heart. And so I turn it to y'all. What do you guys notice closes the heart? What else closes the heart? You can just like popcorn. Boom.
Betrayal.
Betrayal, yes.
I would say apathy or numbness.
Mm-hmm.
Judgment.
I'm going to say
Yeah. Double judgment.
Judgment, fear of judgment.
What else closes the heart? This is good. This is great.
Unmet expectations.
Mm-hmm. Yes, wonderful. Unmet expectations.
Lack of laughter and joy.
Totally. Right, lack of playfulness and curiosity. Totally. What about you, Alex? Are you popping on?
Yeah. Overt structure. So like it has to be this way.
Like rigid.
Rigidity.
Yeah, excess metal.
Rigidity. Yep, excess metal. Excellent. So just so you know, in the second semester, we're going to start studying how all of the elements interrelate. Okay, how one nourishes the other and all that. But I've noticed in my own learning, the way I learned it, I was like, just please let me stick with one element. Don't confuse me and have me thinking about all these things. So it's great. Now let's just think about what events, because those are all like things. What events could close the heart? Stuff about like divorce, right? Like
Heartbreak.
Anything else comes to mind?
Swallowing something down the wrong pipe.
Mm-hmm. Like not speaking your truth.
No, like I drink water and it goes down.
That could do it. That could definitely do it.
Yeah.
Violation.
So, violation. Okay, yeah, right. Child abuse, rape, these kinds of things.
A failure to perform or to accomplish something.
Like any experience of not following your heart, like following a different career path or something like that that's not heart-based.
Totally. Kind of giving up on your dream, on your heart. Beautiful. Great. This is awesome. So these are the ways our heart closes. And typically in the West, especially, it's like we don't always have the safe space to go into these vulnerable areas. Like, when did your heart close? You know, like, it can be those kind of simple questions with your people or your clients, you know. And while you are cultivating, you are getting new psychic skills and abilities, and know that you never have to guess. You know, it's like, wow, this is what's coming up. I saw this vision of you as a young child. But if you go in and tell them what you saw too specifically, they could feel violated. They're like, oh, how did you see that? I didn't want anybody to see that part of me. Oh, no. You know, like, so it's really important. If you start to see those things, ask for a moment, is it appropriate to share this with this person right now? And then you'll get a pretty clear or mm-mm. So if you get the you can just inquire, like, you know, like, when did you close your heart? You know, are you even aware of that? And then you can then you're inviting them into looking, wow, I don't even remember, right? It could be that big of a wound where they just completely close it off. And you say, okay, that's okay. We're going to keep doing our practices. We're going to keep doing some sound work and opening. And then all of a sudden, space opens up. And then they're able to say, oh, wow. And it came in, a few days later, I felt this. I remember this thing, right? So that's a really important part as practitioners and working with our psychic capacity. So we're going to move on to the next part now. I'm going to share my screen again. Any questions on that? Everything pretty clear? Okay. Share screen. Boom. Play. Let's see. So what opens the heart? We started to speak to some of this. Right? If a lack of joy, laughter closes the heart, well, opens the heart. Joy, humor, connection, beauty, love, forgiveness, honesty, peace. Right? So I just kind of get the ball rolling, and then I turn it back to you. What opens the heart? What opens the heart?
Beauty.
Beauty.
Singing and dancing.
Singing and dancing. Yes. Hell yes. Heavens yes. What other pathways to open the heart?
Surrender.
Surrender.
Yeah, acceptance.
Acceptance, yes. Oh.
Embracing your childlike nature and just being playful. And it's my heart.
Yes, 100%. Embracing our childlike nature.
I think also looking at Greg opens my heart.
Yeah.
Like bouncing around to everybody's, like all these faces.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes. Friends, right? Friends open our heart. I was with, the rest of you have some, or do you just want to share the laughter? You just share the laughter. Good working. The laughter is working.
Yeah, sharing.
Yeah, sharing. Right. One of the cutest things is when you see a little kid learn to share for the first time. And they're like, Daddy, I have a pancake for you. And they're just like so happy, and you're like, oh my God. And they're just like so overjoyous about it. That hasn't happened to me yet, but imagine someday my little one will do something like that. What else? Anything else? What else opens the heart? Oh, great. What about you, Adrian? I haven't heard your beautiful voice yet.
Being seen or witnessed.
Yes. Yes.
I would say being around healthy community and people who also have their hearts open. No matter what, it's infectious to be around people with open hearts. You can't help but have your heart open too.
Thank you for that. I'm getting hit with them. I'm just like, wow.
Creativity.
Creativity. Yes.
Freedom.
Freedom. Freedom and liberation. Poetry, definitely for me, poetry. Love that. Oh, we're frozen for a second. Okay, we're back. We are going to just keep moving right along, so that's excellent. Are there, and just to kind of cap it off, like what kind of events elicit that? Right, like being around tribe, like you said, we talked about singing, dancing, anything else as far as like specific events, right? Because we're talking about, we're becoming scientists of how to open the heart. You know?
Specific foods, namely cacao, very heart opening.
Mm-hmm.
So that have those intrinsic qualities.
Excellent, yes. Right, ceremony, right? Ceremony together, like we go into the sacred field together.
Marriage.
You said marriage? Yes.
Yeah.
Right, that's what's up.
It's a mix.
Yeah.
I would broaden to say partnership of all types.
Mm.
We can partner with people creatively. We can partner with people on adventures. We can partner just the coming together, you know, like togetherness.
Yeah, I'll add to that, or to go with that. I used to go to summer camps. It was pretty much just a chill thing, it wasn't overnight. And then I became a counselor eventually. So that was awesome, just to have that as a job, to come be with kids at a playground, basically, and play kickball.
Mm-hmm. We've got Qigong summer camp coming up, so you just get ready. We're going to need some camp counselors. Awesome. This is great. I love this. This is super fun. Yes, Alex.
As we're sharing this, it became apparent that there are like at least twice as many ways to open the heart as events that close the heart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. That's when I was doing this whole exercise myself, I found that same thing. It's like there are more ways to open the heart. So when we come to people in our life that have a closed heart, it's like simply opening them to the invitation. Like, hey, you want to share some tea? You want to go to nature? You want to spend time with me and my buddies, my friends, whatever. It's like, it's just in the invitation, in our open-heartedness. Pretty soon, it's like, yeah, why not? So in the clinical setting, when people keep coming to you, it's just as important to ask them, like what nourishes your heart, because it may be hard if they have a closed heart. It's like, what opens your heart? It might be like, well, these things, that's name. But it's like helping to meet them where they're at, So the languaging, whether it's open or nourish, and we're going to cover nourishing because that's the same but different, right? The same but different. So we are going to move into that right now. Nourishing. Oh, there's another slide.
Togetherness. Can I actually add one more thing? I think the practice of feeling, our heart is the center of feeling. So if our brain is our center of thought, the heart is the center of feeling. So just practicing feeling, regardless of whatever the feeling is that is there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's what's up. And that's what, thank you for that, Larissa, because our work is very somatic. Right? Medical Qigong, it's like an energetic psychology, but it's helping them connect their thought or their story to their body, to their feelings, to their sensations. And then what allows an opening is a feeling of togetherness. And Rumi talks about it, he calls it the spiritual friend. And Yogananda also talks about it. He says, friendship is one of the most powerful ways to access God, access the divine. That feeling of trust. And so as practitioners, that's what we begin to embody for our whole being, for everyone, not just our clients. It's like, oh, we embody that a space of safety and trust and love. So this is a cool, fun visual. So now we have these scientific tools to map our electromagnetic field. And you can see when you're in fear, look at how a little baby toroidal feels. So this barely covers the head to the root. And then you see what happens when you get into a state of love. What happens? It feels the whole way chi field, like under the feet. It's up many, many feet above the head. So this is what actually happens when we are experiencing the acquired emotions, fear, anger, frustration, worry, doubt. All that contracts our field. That little person on the left, you know. And then when we begin to open to forgiveness, gratitude, you know, we grieve something we weren't able to access before. It begins to open the heart. Whoa, we feel that.
David?
Expansiveness. Yeah.
Have you heard of the work of Dan Winter?
No, I haven't.
He's like a quantum physicist that explains a lot of science behind the heart and how it creates a wider toroidal field. And he has like this really awesome, like super deep, advanced quantum knowledge on this stuff. I'd highly recommend y'all to check.
Okay. Dan Winter, thanks, bro. Would we find him just on Google, YouTube? Does he have a book?
He's mostly on YouTube.
Okay, cool. Excellent, thanks, bro. Adrian, if you have a particular YouTube that you like, that you think we would all love, I can actually share it with the group. I can even put it in like a Vimify or something. So as things, if you guys have videos that you think are very important, just send them to me. We can keep gathering the collective awesomeness, okay?
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to show you that. And now, the final piece, what nourishes the heart. So as Qigong practitioners, this is super, super important, especially now integrating from some powerful experience together. We just did a soul retrieval on Sunday. So what nourishes the heart? I wrote down a few: time with nature, soul family, meditation, spiritual practice, celebrating with friends. Some simple things: morning tea, a long hug, a bath, touch, to be loved completely with no conditions. These are all some simple things. And there's many, many more, many, many more. And this is our work, to continue to nourish our heart. So when we talk about self-care with our clients, this is what we're talking about. Self-care. And also in self-care, would be food, right? Treating ourselves right with the right kind of food. Treating ourselves right with the right kind of self-talk. And then I can just leave this up and y'all can just popcorn. What else nourishes the heart? Just chime in.
There's actually an herb that nourishes the heart. It's called hawthorn berries. The most powerful heart healers, both emotionally and physically. Hawthorn berry and hawthorn leaf.
Yeah, I get to learn new things too. I get to take some of that stuff up. It was great. Thanks, brother. What else? It can be, take from your experience. What nourishes your heart?
It can be covered under celebrating with friends, but the idea of like all that group singing that we did, that really just expands my heart. I love that stuff. Whether it's group singing or, well, I don't know, that stuff.
Excellent. Thank you, JJ.
Music.
Music.
Being held and just comforted physically and emotionally, and just being held, and that is really nourishes my heart.
Being seen.
When people laugh at my jokes, I
Hot diggity, I missed it. My internet is bugging out. All right, when people laugh at that, and then it was done. Okay, you're back. You're back. Finish that last line.
I said when people laugh at my jokes that I think are funny, and it makes it that much better.
Oh, I love it. Great. So when, like I like to harvest because there's always so much more wisdom in that. When we're working with our clients, our students, part of your practice is going to be helping them find these specific practices that nourishes their heart. Because everybody's going to have something. Everybody's going to have something. And, somebody may have not, maybe they love doing artwork and they've given it up. They haven't painted in 20 years. Or they write poetry or they dance. There was a story about this like executive woman, and she was like in a high-powered position, but was just like just not happy, just completely unhappy. And essentially, she began to dance. She used to dance and do ballet as a young girl, and she began to dance again and make that like her primary way in practice, and it transformed her life. Everything began to unfold. So it's important to know that just because somebody's job, and I think we get, especially in the West, we get overly identified with our job. So somebody may come to me and say they're in a more business-like setting. And they're like, "Oh, I don't have time to sing or dance, or I don't have time to play." What are you talking about? You don't have time to sing. Just take 5 minutes, or dance, or something. So so the invitation here is like allowing them the permission to do these things, even though it's not going to lead them to more financial success per se. But sometimes it's hard to see the connection or the gap. Like, well, if you're in your joy and in your love, that's going to resonate throughout your entire life, make you a better father, mother. You're going to be much more attuned at work and so forth. And heart from yours. And so that's kind of the that piece there. Yes, Alex.
This is kind of deep, but I notice allowing the heart to break in full knowing that it gets stronger from it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like allowing the process.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, brother, agreed. Adrian said, "I love singing cheesy R&B songs. Never fails to open my heart." Yes, yes. Little Boys to Men, something like that. Yeah, love it. Somebody else is gonna pop on. John B. Yeah, I forgot about John B. I listen to him.
Brian McKnight.
Oh my God, I'm about to go look up all these right now. I'm gonna have a party with myself tonight.
Facebook group.
Like working with people, sometimes like the only thing you can get them to start with is like watching funny movies.
Yeah.
Starting to take in lighter entertainment from what they're used to, like news and stuff like that, to shift that. Because I think we didn't include this, but I think that sometimes watching the news and like being overstimulated with negative world stuff is really closes your heart, and then like getting people from that patterning is really important.
Yes, thank you for adding that piece. You're 100% right, and it's probably the biggest way that we keep that society, that whatever we want to call it, keeps people in the rat race, keeps us in fear and separation.
A yes and to Catherine. is positivity.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I wanted to add was intention as well. Like if you set the intention that I want to walk through the day with an open heart, or what it kind of applies to everything, but if you're looking for that, then you're so much more likely to see things in that light.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. I just thought of one thing. If you guys have any particular things that you feel are hilarious, like YouTube, like JP Sears has this hilarious 15-minute thing on like embrace your weird. It's awesome. It's a TED Talk. You got to check it out. I think y'all love it. Because how fun would it be as we continue to build our Facebook group? Like this is going to be here forever. So I mean, as you practice, maybe it's a year, 2 years down the road, you're like, oh, I've got this client, I'm working with this, and I need some support. Here's what's going on. And then you can get a collective like, oh, ping, 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 here's what may help, you know, and kind of get those things. But if we also have a, you know, a small database of like, here's 5 amazing, hilarious 15-minute videos. I know like one, you know, or here's some movies. Like one of the most powerful movies that I watched that totally shifted my awareness, Avatar. I was like, oh my God, every single thing in this movie is real. You know, so having those things that make it very accessible to our peeps is also a fun thing to have at our disposal. Greg said Roy's turtle snake. Oh yeah, that definitely opens our world. Okay, so let's move. We're doing great on our time here. This is so much fun. Thank you for sharing your insight with us, everybody. I'm going to share my screen again. We're going to move into the next little portion here. Okay, so here's a more practical kind of energetic psychology or emotional makeup of the fire element in balance. Loving, peaceful, warm, confident, open. There's a sense of inner strength. Joyful, youthful, authentic. And there's more than that though. It's a good start. Like trusting, accepting. Compassionate, right? So these are all fire elements in balance. And then fire element out of balance. So the yang is in the red, the yin is in the blue, or like excess versus deficient. Somebody who's excess fire, they'll be anxious, manic, overwhelmed, hectic, frenetic. Their speech pattern will be probably pretty fast. And when they speak, it may be kind of breathy. Right? It's like they're trying to talk and they don't have enough energy to keep spitting out the words. They start projects they can't finish. There's like the fire element is that intention, the heart's intention. It's like, oh, I've got all these great intentions, but it's like it's not landing, it's not fully grounding in. And then more of the yin side or deficient, they would be cold, hard. I'm sure y'all have hugged people that feels like a brick. You hug them, you're like, oh my God, you feel like a wall. What's going on? Right? Numb, absent, emotionally unavailable, retracted. And then as far as being able to look at someone's face, if somebody's you've got higher levels of anxiety, like hypertension, right? That's kind of the official word, hypertension. The number one way we treat hypertension is through belly breath. A lot of people who are on medications can simply learn how to do the lower Dantian breathing that will really calm their heart. And then if somebody is deficient or cold, then doing things that bring heat to the system to help them break out of that. And one of the fastest ways to get people out of depression is to put them into service. Because depression kind of spins in on itself. It's like a black hole. And it can be a lot of like self-loathing and just, you know, it's a very heavy place to be. And one way to begin to open open that, it's service. Because sometimes we're not willing to do it for ourselves. Maybe we don't feel worthy or whatever. We may be willing to do it for someone we love. We may be willing to show up for, whatever, the homeless or a pet, right? There's certain ways that we can open the heart when we're in a more depressed state. That's the fire element. Now here's a couple of fun ways to work the emotional transformation of the heart. So anxiety is the most simple way that it shows up when our heart is imbalanced. We've got certain expectations that aren't being met. We're worried, we're stressed out, overwhelmed, right? Anxiety. And you can feel anxiety, and that can be, remember the heart is the emperor. So it feels all emotions. So you can feel anxious because you're angry about something. You can feel anxious because you're really worried about something, right? So anxiousness can just be an overlaying symptom of these other energies. And to transform anxiety into more resilience through connecting to your bigger purpose. Now for us, that's a little bit easier because we're attuned to our soul. We're attuned to what our bigger purpose is. So if you're with somebody and you're wanting to help them connect to their soul, you can begin to ask those questions like, what brings you a sense of purpose in life? If you had to do something and you could do it for free, you didn't need to make money. You didn't need to make money for a living, and you would just do this because you love it and it connects you to people. What would that be? Because sometimes having a purpose can have a certain level of definitude. Like, I have to find my purpose, my one and only purpose. And there can be many purposes, right? So there's a thread underneath these things. And so one is starting with gratitude. Right? What are we really grateful for and thankful for? Then open the heart through the ha sound. And when we do the descending, it calms the heart. When we do the ha, it uplifts the heart. So when I do my chanting, my meditation, I'll often do those. It's like a wave pattern. It goes up and down, and so it's like woo, feeling the belly, feeling that the dantian, and then it starts to go higher and higher. So that's a simple way. And then I'll do a Tumo practice. I'll do a simple Tumo practice connecting to that vision, that purpose. And then transforming anxiety into excitement. This is kind of another way of transforming anxiety that sometimes is fun when you're like out in the world, right? Out in the world. This first way is like, oh, I'm at home, it's evening or it's the morning, I'm gonna like connect to my purpose and help create this anxiety. Now, what do you do when you're out and about? So you can transform anxiety into excitement through treating the situation like a game. So you take your identity out of it, that being like your expectation of failure or success. And then immediately you're like, oh, now you have more freedom because you're not overly attached. Oh, I got to get this person as a client, or I got to make the best, I got to have the best possible presentation ever, right? It's like you just let go of all that. This is a game. This is the game of life. This is our training ground. And then it allows us to have humor and laugh at ourselves. Because inevitably, we're all going to mess up. Everybody is not perfect, and we get to laugh at ourselves. So in the moment, you're able to shift the energy of rigidity, control, of like, oh, let me just, whether I fail or success, it's going to be all good. Right? And then you find that sense of play and purpose, make it a fun challenge. And one of the 5 principles of the leadership Qigong, wasn't it playfulness?
Do
you remember? It was in there. I know
one of them. I'll look for them. I'll look them up.
Okay, you get back to us, but
I'll do that. You keep talking.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So those are two simple ways to really access the heart, you know, and have fun with it, make it into a game. And like, that's what I know I find when I start getting really like in a negative vibration, I'm taking life way too seriously. I'm just taking life too seriously. No. And then I'll just pop on some
Got him.
JP series. Okay. But what are they?
So the 5 here, I'll just put them in the chat.
That's perfect.
Yeah, the one you're referencing is move from ease and play.
There you go. So this is last spring, actually, when Larissa and I led a leadership Qigong half-day workshop. And so we kind of just brainstormed on these ideas about, you know, what does it mean to be a leader, and what are some of the principles to allow that? And one is to move from ease and play, you know, instead of rigidity and having to be right or correct. And the other 4, one is owning our creative authority, owning our ability to create or be a co-creator.
Which also speaks to sovereignty.
Yes. Yes. So when I'm getting in, like, part of our homework is doing our inner silence and connecting to our collective pillar. So whenever I feel our collective pillar, I feel like my sovereignty first and foremost. It's like, and then it's like tree roots going in the earth and then branches up. It's like, then all of a sudden it's like I'm intermingling with each other person, but still feeling that very potent pillar that you are choosing to connect. So that way, and then at the end of the day, you're like, okay, I'm just going to come down. I'm coming back to my own sense of self and being, but it's always there, right? So in the energetics of that. Nourish through slowness. Nourish through slowness. I love this one because when you're in a rush, that's the sign you're ungrounded. When you're in a rush, you're knocking things over, right? Or you're stuck in your head. It's also a sign you're in your head, not present. So when I notice that, as much as I can, I start walking a little slower. I start moving. I start doing everything very deliberately. You know, I'm like, it's like everything becomes a spontaneous Qigong. So I mean, even in the shower, and I'm inhaling, brushing, exhaling, brushing. I'll just start to just bring everything down a couple of notches. And that will allow you to slow down your mind in the sense of slowing down time. Now you'll be more present and able to show up for your people, your clients, your business meetings, whatever. And then the last one is fostering flow. So where is there resistance in our life, and where can we help to foster more flow? Or with people, with relationships, where can we foster more flow or harmony? It feels important to share. So thanks for putting that in there, Larissa. So that was like an awesome collaboration, and I'm going to continue to dive into how each one of us are already leaders in our own right, in our own community, and how to continue to foster that ability to empower yourself and empower your people. Any questions, anything before we move on to the last piece? No? Okay. So this is more of a deeper understanding of this Tummo practice that we've been doing. And you can see how on Sunday, we use all of these techniques, right, in our solar retreat. We use sound to open. We use some subtle movement. We use the breath. We use the visual, the color, right? And it's kind of this woven tapestry. And Tummo has definitely become one of the hallmark practice. Like, I do it all the time. And the word means inner fire. And if I was to distill the Tummo training into 3 primary aspects, One, you're dropping into the still point. When you drop into the still point, the mind clutter is gone, and we're able to manifest more clearly from our heart. Number two, when we do that, we're overflowing our lower dantian. And in order to do the higher spiritual work or psychic development, our lower dantian has got to have juice, like the generator. Or else we become ungrounded, flighty, can't follow through, become weak, our body loses its energy. And then a third would be magnifying your soul intention. So when we have a clear intention in our mind, and say you're doing a prayer or whatever, I'll end it with breath work. That way I'm out of my mind and into the deep listening. And I'm into the complete feeling of the prayer or of the intention or of the invocation, whatever it is. I'm in that vibration of it. So it helps to magnify our soul intention and drops us into the, Greg Braden called it the 0 point field. 0 point field. And then a short review. So to practice, warrior's breath, breath lock, sink down, Tumo exhale, belly out and down. There's other versions of Tumo that we'll start training come the fall. This is most simple and basic. And then each round, set your clear intention, breathe all your heart and soul, listen, let go, see what comes up. I'll share with you briefly what I saw today as I was preparing for class. I want to show you guys my altar. That's what I'm going to do for each class. Where did my Shasta go? Here it is. So, can you see that? So I have my favorite crystal. All this is at the altar, at the space. And I just have some different images, crystals, Shasta there. So what I do when I sit down, I'll do my pillar, and then I realize that when I have my crystals out in a certain sacred geometric pattern, they'll call to me. So I'll do my pillar, and it's like, oh, quartz, rose crystal, or rose quartz, or whatever. Or so some of you may already have altars, you may already work with crystals. But when I was there, so I felt called to the rose quartz and the clear quartz. And as I was doing my Tumo today, I felt all of our wings, and I felt us all at the top of Mount Shasta. We didn't all make that hike, but our souls did. And I was like, oh my God, we're all at the top, and it's that rarefied air. And we're able to send brighter and clearer signals to our brothers and sisters of light across the globe, to the celestial realms, to the angels and archangels. And it was so powerful and so real. And then I could see these sacred geometric patterns, both going into the earth and also embracing the whole earth, this beautiful cosmic web. And I was like, oh my God, this is real. When I drop in and my heart's in it, this is real. This is part of what we're doing here on the planet. So whenever I'm practicing now, I feel that even that much stronger because I know y'all are practicing. And I know that we're able to get a support when we're feeling, alone, wherever we are. And so super grateful for y'all. And that's all I have to share for today. And we're kind of moving into what's next. So I'm going to just close this one here. Oh yeah, Thomas had peace. Thanks, Thomas. Okay. So this is class number 12, and here's my thoughts moving forward. We can just kind of power off the next 10, 15 minutes or so. One is we can have a call next week, and it can be optional for those who want to come, and it can be more of like planning and prep for like, what does the summer look like? What do you want to practice? How can we create a way that each one of you can feel supported, right? And as of now, energetically, it feels like I'd be fine to do like a call once a month like this. And we're like, where y'all at? Let's do deep practice together, you know, and it's your summer break. So I want to be like mindful of your energy. I want to be mindful of my energy so we can all feel supported and, you know, do whatever the hell we want to do. So in that, I'm wondering just what your feeling is, if there's certain topics or things you'd like to integrate for next week. If we have like a more close, because this is definitely not really an integration call. This is like, here's the fire element piece that we need to get through in our curriculum. So where y'all at? What do you guys need kind of to feel confident moving forward into the summer? And that's what next call will be. So I'm gonna show up for next week. I feel it's important for me as a teacher and facilitator to help everybody move into that next 2.5 months. I wanted to just kind of open up to you guys. So the question being, what would you like to cover or integrate next week?
A little bit about what we're doing in the next next semester.
Okay, great. Let me get my notebook out here. So.
Yeah, that would be really helpful because I find myself like wanting to read some of the different parts of the books and then wondering like, are we going to cover this, or is this something that I'm going to end up reading on my own, and then, or should I be reading this with you guys? Or because I figure we're going to cover every single thing in every single book. So if what we were going to cover, then I would read the other stuff.
Yeah, you get a head start on your summer reading. Okay, so that's great. I'll put that in there. Kind of preview second semester, and I can actually give you guys the all of your reading, if you wanted it. For those who are interested, I can give you all of the reading assignments and like all of the curriculum for second semester. It will be different because these are the curriculum from the medical Qigong school. And then during the semester, I'm like tweaking and adapting, and some stuff gets put here or there. It's like, but at least you can have a good overview. So I can send that to you guys. And P3 and 4.
If you could create a summary of all of the practices, like the different breath practices we've learned, the different movement practices that we learned, you know, not of what we're going to learn, but what we have learned, so that we have a consolidated inventory, so that we know, so that we can self-assess on how we're doing in our skill development and practice, and be like, oh shit, I haven't really leaned into that practice as much, so that we can see the whole picture in one place. It'd be super helpful.
Yeah, like even the warm-ups and stuff, because I noticed that on the noble movements, you have these lists of like, these are all the exercises in noble movement number 1. And I've been trying to go in and like make documents out of them so that I would like have it written down so that I'd be able to follow it without the video. So I don't know if you just have like a log of that stuff on a sheet of paper someplace or whatever, but I think that would also be helpful.
That'd be helpful. Yeah, I do have logs for that stuff. So I have most of this already done in a master list. So I will send that to each of you with the different movements. Cool. And then, Catherine, you'd like a list of like the noble movement sequences as well?
Like 4 of these and 4 of these and 4 of these.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be epic.
And
Okay.
and David, just to clarify the request, it's like,
Yeah.
and then this would be a product, you know, that you would have for your next year is semester 1 breath practices, semester 1 movement practices, semester 1 treatment skills.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of other categories. So like prayer techniques or something, you know, it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
what are the things? And then filling those buckets. It's like, oh, here are all the bullet points.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
Yeah.
Very helpful. Eventually, what we can have is some kind of like more condensed, like PDF essential, and it has all this or whatever. And it's like, oh, here's 5 volumes of books to go through. Figure it out.
Right. I see you having your own, you know, more of your own manual.
Darn it.
Connection.
Sorry, connection. Poopy. Okay, you're back. My apologies. God dang it. It's bad today for whatever reason. The internet connection is bad today.
Mine's bad. It might be like solar flares or something. I had a really bad podcast today too.
Uh-huh. That's why you look so wonderful. I'm like, why is Catherine looking so beautiful right now? Oh, she's got her thing going on. I love it. Okay, so the last thing I heard was Catherine, was you talking about a manual.
Yeah, you having your own manual that goes with the program, you know.
Yep, totally. Yeah. Okay, great. What? Yes, I'm so stoked for that to be created at some point. Great.
Love you guys. I look forward to next week's class.
Okay, see you soon, Greg. Say hi to Finn. Thanks for popping him on the screen, bro. Thanks for letting us see your little beautiful boy.
Oh yeah, for sure. Here he comes. Hey, say bye. Woohoo!
Yeah. What a cute kid. Okay, see you later, Greg. What about JJ or Adrian? Anything y'all are would help?
You had already kind of told me about certain aspects of the pairing of the organs. For instance, today I was working on myself, and I was kind of, so large intestine came up, and so I just kind of did a lot of purging around that, and then filled the lung with white light and kind of moved it up and down through that area. So I can look for more information. I think you'd sent me some specific texts, but so for some reason that keeps all those different organs, because I scan for all of them sometimes, and the song, lung, large intestine, stomach, spleen, heart, small intestine, bladder, kidney. So
we'll learn it all together, because I want to remember that too. But yes, to answer your question, JJ, we will be going over the paired organs in the second semester as well. So, this week's reading is going to be the heart. And then when we come back around we're going to come through all the elements again. And then we're going to also learn more about the paired organ. So that is coming up.
All right. Because I've just been intuitively purging the organ and then kind of either filling. I've just been using typically white or the color for the paired organ that I know.
Yep, that's it. Same color for the paired organ. Same color for the paired organ. And then if you're muscle testing, you could also ask if large intestine does come up, or whatever comes up. Then you could ask another question, excess or deficient. Add that in there. Excess or deficient. And then you're like, oh, excess, we'll purge it. Oh, deficient, tonify it.
I do kind of ask that. I try to feel for, and sometimes it's just like this, but yeah, do I still need to purge? No, purging's good, just fill. And then sometimes I fill like this and go, like that's the drain, and it's just, and then the other side will feel a little weird. It's like, moves my hands out, and then I'm like, oh, must be good. Next organ.
Nice. Thanks, JJ. What else? A couple more minutes to go. Anyone else before we close it out? Anything you feel? And this is, things we can kind of just touch up into next week. So we'll do a preview of next semester. I already have a list, and I'll make an even more refined list of practices so you guys can, the next couple months, you're like, ooh, I really want to dive into this stuff. Okay. I also want to know, would you guys be interested in me recording the Four Guardians meditation again to practice that? Because I know I want to practice that for myself. Be it with the animals.
Yeah.
And that way, that's my practice. I want to start to tune into that each morning for the next month or so.
The other thing that I would love, David, is recordings of the tones of the sounds. Even if it's just you on an iPhone doing this for 30 seconds, next one. It doesn't have to be overly produced, just to be able to.
Okay, that's true.
And David, would you actually be willing just right now to very quickly say the spleen, lung, kidney, liver, heart tones?
Sure, yeah, totally. So the spleen is who, W-H-O.
Mm-hmm.
The lung is, the one that I use is Shang, S-H-A-N-G. Shang. The kidneys, I use U-Y-U, U. And then the wood is Guo, G-U-O, Guo. And then the last one for the fire element, Ha. Ha is my favorite one for the heart. So those five are the basics. There's others, but those are like the ones I use most.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay. JJ, were you also wanting the chakra sound that we've done? Yeah, we did it at the retreat, and we did it briefly. That's cool. It's pretty quick too. Okay, so we got that down.
Can you say those from like 7th to 1st?
Yeah, so it starts high, and now the tones kind of interrelate. It's like, so it may not be super clear, but you'll just get it. So it's that's it. That's like, it's all connected into one. It's all connected into one. You can do a little bit more than that, but that's the most essential. Like, and then you can do it up. I started playing with it going up but I'm not gonna do that because it's gonna
Facilitator challenge. Can you break that chain into chakra-based consonant or vowel things?
Yeah. Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Yes,
that phonetically.
So that's a much more detailed. I'll do that for y'all because I want to do it anyway. But it's gonna be a much longer thing than like right now.
Okay, good.
Yes. That's the short version. Adrian or Alex, anything before we hit the road?
Can you teach us how to levitate next week, David?
I cannot. However, in our meditations, we can all ask how that could be possible, and maybe the collective will all start floating together.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Adrian, what are you talking about? I think you're the one to teach us how to float.
There you go.
Bro, like, no lying, Adrian.
Someday.
Just ask your genes to unlock.
Yeah.
Remember.
Awesome. Well, this has been a wonderful time with y'all. Thank you so much. Really appreciate each of you. Yeah. So just, close it out. Tune into your pillar, feel your belly. Smile down. And feeling your week's going to be awesome, beautiful, amazing. Let me know you have any questions, shoot me email, text, Facebook message, and do the same with each other. Reach out to each other. Is that a question, Kelly, or a bye? I mean, Catherine. Bye. Okay, see y'all later. Much love.
Class next week is still at 4 p.m. What? Yeah.
Yep, you got it. Yeah. Adrian, you have a second after this, bro? Okay, cool. And then Jaden, I have not he's already gone. Peace. Oh, stop the recording.